to our newly hired teachers, our learning school aides, our partners, tutors, and our volunteers. Good afternoon. I would like to congratulate you for completing the two most important sessions in reading, and that are the phonological awareness and the word recognition. So for this session, I will be discussing to you the basics of teaching reading, developing learners' vocabulary, and I will be your presenter for this session. So let me present to you our objectives. So these are the things that we are expected to attain at the end of this session. Number 1, learn different vocabulary development strategies and discuss how it works. Second, recognize the 3 types of word knowledge. And third, discuss the significance of using strategies to develop an extensive vocabulary skills. So let's begin with this warm-up exercise. And I know that you are familiar with this game, word building. So I have here our word communication. This is a 5-syllable word, which means to transfer information from one person to another. So out of these words, let's form words as many as you can. Let's do this within a minute or 60 seconds. And please make use of our chat box. You can type your answers for this activity. So, are you ready? That's great. Let's begin. That's great. I can see your responses. You have the words common, action, act. From these responses, it proves that you have a wide range of vocabulary. So what is vocabulary all about? Vocabulary is also known as word stock or word bank. These are sets of familiar words within a person's language. In other words, these are words that the person knows and uses in his day-to-day activities. That is why it is considered as a fundamental tool for communication and acquiring knowledge. Vocabulary also refers to the words that we must know to communicate effectively, not only in reading but also in listening, speaking, and writing. This is the ability to understand words, to use words to understand text, and of course to use words to express meaning. So why is it important to teach vocabulary? What makes it significant in developing the reading abilities of our learners? So word knowledge is strongly related to reading proficiency in particular and school achievement in general. So it is now our great challenge on how we could help our learners improve their word knowledge, not only in recognizing these words, but of course in giving meaning to these words. And generally for English language learners, the achievement gap is primarily a vocabulary gap. So we have here the types of words that we should teach our learners. First, we have these familiar words or the everyday words. These are the common words that we use frequently. These are the words that we use in our daily conversation, just like the words ant, can, play, and come. We also have these extended words or the not so familiar words. Examples of this are combination, drill, and lifetime. These extended words help to enrich students' reading and writing vocabularies. And the last one, we have the expert words and the unfamiliar words. These are of low frequency in use, but again, these are very important for the future use of our kids. So they are often limited to a specific domain, just like the words task and molars. So what words should we teach? So in presenting a story, it is very important that we unlock some of those difficult words, basically because these words are critical to passage understanding. We also have words that are less likely to be encountered in the future, but again, these are generally useful. And of course, we have this unknown or the unfamiliar words. Now you are already taught with the significance of teaching vocabulary. This time, I will introduce to you some of the strategies in teaching vocabulary. So for the first strategy that I will be sharing to you is the strategy 1, text talk. I know this is new to you, but as I go along with my discussion, you can see that these are already used when we were still in our classrooms, when we were still in elementary levels. So this is the text talk. This enhances students' comprehension and understanding of a text, of a selection or a paragraph or a story. This requires systematic planning. So why systematic planning? Because it has processes to follow so that it can be employed effectively. And of course, this entails interaction between the students and the teacher while reading aloud. So these are the 6 steps on how we can employ the text talk strategy. So for the first one, the tutor or the teacher will read the sentence in the story that contains the target word. This target word is the word that we would like to introduce to our children. The second step is ask the children to repeat the word. Then the third, explain the meaning of that target word. Then fourth, provide example other than those words used in the story. Then the fifth one is ask children to provide their own examples. And of course, the last one, ask children to say the word again. This time, I will demonstrate to you on how we can employ text talk strategy in our classes or even in our read-at-home activities in our different communities. So I'll begin. Good morning, kids. How are you today? I hope you are doing great. Are you excited to learn new words for today? That's great. Now I have here a sentence. I will read it first and afterwards we will read it together. I will begin. The sentence is, Birdie Bird was so grateful for the time they spent together. Now kids, let us read the sentence. Let's begin. Birdie Bird was so grateful for the time they spent together. Now, can you tell me what is the underlined word? That's correct. It's grateful. Now, can you say the word grateful with me? Grateful. That's great. Now, let us define what grateful means. This means showing thanks and expressing joy. I have here another example or another sentence to help you understand what's grateful. I will read it first and afterwards we will do it together. Now I will begin. Someone might be grateful to help their brother and sisters in times of need. Now let us read it together. Someone might be grateful to help their brother and sisters in times of need. Good job! Now it's your time. Tell about something you would be grateful to do. Just complete this phrase so that it will have a complete thought. You can start by saying, I would be grateful to. That's great. Now kids, what is the word that we have been talking about? That's right, it's grateful. So now this is the simple steps on how we can employ text-talk strategy in our read-at-home activities. So another strategy that I will be sharing to you is the synonym and the antonym. I know that you are very much informed, or you know what synonyms and antonyms are. These are words with similar meaning. Synonyms and antonyms are words with opposite meanings. So synonyms and antonyms are good vocabulary builders. This can help you develop your vocabulary skills by giving you choices for saying things in a more interesting ways. So I have here a nursery rhyme. This is developed by one of our writers in the division of Sarangani by Ma'am Rochelle M. Fernando. This is entitled Similar and Opposites. So I will sing it for you, then afterwards we will sing it together. So let's begin. Synonyms are similar, hat and cup, stone and rock. Synonyms are similar, happy and glad. Antonyms are opposites, left and right, big and small. Antonyms are opposites, black and white. Did you get it? Now let's do it together. Let's begin. Synonyms are similar, hat and cup, stone and rock. Synonyms are similar, happy and glad. Antonyms are opposites, left and right, big and small. Antonyms are opposites, black and white. So as we presented this to our learners, we were able to introduce a wide sources of vocabulary. So let's begin with the first stanza. We have here hat and cup, stone and rock, happy and glad. So these are similar or synonyms. These are words with similar meaning. Let's proceed to the second stanza. We have the words left and right, big and small, black and white. So these are words with opposite meaning, or these are what we call antonyms. So I have here presented two sets of paragraph, and let us see which of these paragraph is presented in a better way. So I will read it first, and afterwards let us do it together. Today is my special day. I am very excited to take a bite of the very tasty mango float personally made by my sister. She was very tired, but she told me that it is the very valuable gift she prepared for my special day. Oh, I am very happy, and I can't wait to take a bite of it. Now, let us do it together. Let's begin. Today is my special day. I am very excited to take a bite of the very tasty mango float personally made by my sister. She was very tired, but she told me that it is the very valuable gift she prepared for my special day. Oh, I am very happy, and I can't wait to take a bite of it. Now, what have you observed with this paragraph? What words are used repeatedly? That's right, it's very. We have here very excited, very tasty, very tired, very valuable, and very happy. So this can be presented in another way by using the synonyms of these words. So I have here the second set of paragraph, then I will read it first, and afterwards we will do it together. Today is my special day. I am ecstatic to take a bite of the delicious mango float personally made by my sister. She was exhausted, but she told me that it is the precious gift she prepared for my special day. Oh, I am elated, and I can't wait to take a bite of it. Now, let us read it together. Let's begin. Today is my special day. I am ecstatic to take a bite of the delicious mango float personally made by my sister. She was exhausted, but she told me that it is the precious gift she prepared for my special day. Oh, I am elated and I can't wait to take a bite of it. Now, as you can see, these words have their similar meanings, just like very excited and ecstatic. That's correct. We have very tasty and delicious. We have very tired and exhausted. Very valuable and precious. And very happy and elated. That's right. So we have here an activity using these synonyms. So let's try this. Once again, let's make use of our chat box. Let's do this within a minute or 60 seconds. Simply look for the synonyms of the words in column A to the column B and write the letter of your answers, or type the letter of your answers in our chat box. So let's begin. Now, let's take a look if you got the correct answer. So let us see if your answers are correct. We have, for number 1, we have very important. And the answer is letter B, that is essential. For number 2, we have very hungry. And the answer is letter H, that is starving. For the third item, we have very hurt. That is letter G, that is distressed. For number 4, very big. We have letter E, that is huge. You're right. For number 5, we have very lazy, and that is lethargic. For very small, we have tiny. For very thin, we have skeletal. And for the last item, we have very happy, which is letter A. Good job. So you can introduce this to our tutees as we go home when we go back and we have our read at home activities in our community. Now let's have another game using antonyms. So you can print this one and distribute to our children or our tutees, or you can also write this in their notebook. So instruction is look for the words with the opposite meanings and highlight it with the same color. So you can make use of the rainbow colors: red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, and violet. So you can prepare this one and provide it to your learners. So I will be showing you how does it looks like. Okay, so this one. We have, for example, the words absent and present. They have the similar color because these are opposite words or antonyms. We have cheap and expensive. We have subtract and add. So you can introduce this to our tutees. Now we have this strategy using the synonyms and antonyms. So if you have available internet connection at your community, you can make use of this online platform, or you can use this quizzes application. So you can present this to our tutees. Now the third strategy that I will be sharing to you is the use of the prefixes and the suffixes, or the word parts. So prefixes or suffixes or the affixes, these are the words being added before and after a root word, and it makes another word, of course, with another meaning. So you can figure out the meanings of new words by learning about the prefixes, the suffixes, and the roots or the word parts. So let's have A very quick review on the prefixes in English. We have over, which means too much, pre, which means before, re, which means again. We have super, which means above, under, which means below, mid, which means middle, micro, which means small, macro, which means large. So you can provide a copy of this to our tutees, our learners, so that they will be guided with these prefixes. So let's take, for example, re, which means again. So we have there return. It means turn again, rediscover, discover again, reiterate, reunite, and recall. This time I will be showing to you some examples of the suffixes in English. Okay, we have the shun, the S and the T form, which means state of being. We have ate, which means become, full, which means notable for, ike or ical, which means having the form, ive, which means having the nature of, less, which means without, li, which means related to or referring to a quality, and ward or wards, which means direction. So again, you can have a copy of this and provide our learners, especially now that we are in this new way of learning. So let us help our learners even when we are facing this pandemic. So let's take a look at this example. Let's focus on the less, which means without. So we have there meaningless. So it can mean without meaning. Or we have there hopeless, homeless, mindless, or spotless. So this is also another activity that we can present to our learners using the prefixes and the suffixes. This can improve their vocabulary skills. We have this prefix and suffix roll and write. So I know that you are familiar with playing dice. You can buy it or you can personally make this dice and provide it for our learners. So simply when they roll the dice, then it hits one dot, they will be doing the activity or instruction indicated in every column. So for example, for one, they shall list as many words as they can for the prefix re and ing. For example, they hit the two dots, they will write a story using the words with a prefix. So what is that prefix? We have this. For the three dots, they have to write a story using the words with a suffix. For 4 dots, they should compare 10 words with a prefix and a suffix. So what are these words? Words that have the prefix mis and full. For the 5 dots, they have create a prefix or a suffix riddle. And for the last one, they can have their own choice of the prefix and suffix. And the activity there is to create a poem or poem using a prefix or suffix. So this one is also another strategy that we can introduce to our learners in improving their vocabulary using the prefix game. So you can provide this one. You may do it in a board, in a big chart, and they will complete it simply by providing words that is indicated in every path. We have the re, the an, the pre, and the dis until they reach the finish line. Also have this prefix and suffix bingo, and this activity is also familiar to you, so you can provide this and help our learners in improving their vocabulary skills. So again, you can make use of the quizzes. I have indicated there a link, and you can provide this to our learners, especially if you have a strong connection in your communities. So the fourth strategy that I will be sharing to you is about the visual organizer or the graphic organizers. We all know that visual organizers are very much helpful, especially in organizing concepts, ideas, new knowledge. So visual organizer, using this, learners think about terms or concepts in several ways. So most word map organizers engage our learners in developing a definition, synonyms, antonyms, and a picture for a given vocabulary word or concept. So in enhancing learners' vocabulary is very important because it also develops their reading comprehension. So therefore, let us introduce our kids in different words so that they will be able to develop a great vocabulary, which are very helpful in understanding what they are reading. So I have here an example of a graphic organizer. We have this vocabulary word map. So this is in the subject of making sense in social studies. So it is very much important to take note that vocabulary could not only be developed in language subjects just like English, Filipino, and MTB. We can also integrate or use this or develop this in other subjects just like social studies, araling panlipunan, music, arts, PE, and health. So for example, we have this vocabulary word map. So in the center, we have this vocabulary word, or this is the target word that we would like to introduce to our learners. So it is divided into 4 quadrants. So the first quadrant, we have there definition of these words using their own words, of course. Then the second quadrant, we have this synonyms. Children are asked to provide words with similar meaning. And on the third quadrant, we have this use it in a meaningful sentence. And for the last one, draw a picture of it. So from this activity, we were able to develop the vocabulary skills of our learners. Another one is this word chart, context, and connection. So we have this in the center, in the circle, in the shape of circle, we have this word. So children are asked to write the words that they learned. So they can make use of a dictionary if for their reference. So in the upper portion, there is, for the rectangular shape, children are asked to give the definition, what is it, then examples. I will find this word, and the last one, I will remember this word by connecting it with. So another one is the vocabulary study. So they can make use of a dictionary or a glossary. In the circle shape, learners will write the words that they have discovered, then they give meaning in the rectangular shape, then examples, synonyms, antonyms, then picture or a cartoon describing that word, then prefix, word part or the base word, and then the suffix. And the last one is the vocabulary word map. So again, you can reproduce this one, you can print it, or even you can write it in their notebook and allow them to use this graphic organizer in organizing their ideas, concepts, and most importantly in the words that they have discovered. So we have another suggested vocabulary strategies. So we are done with the text talk, the synonyms and antonyms, the prefix, suffix, or the word parts, and the last is the graphic organizer. So these are also important strategies that we can make use, especially that some of our schools are already implementing this read at home program. So we have these word walls. So I know that you have already seen this in many classrooms. So this is a collection of words which are displayed in large visible letters on a wall, on a bulletin board, or other display surface in a classroom. So you can make use of this one. You also have the list group label. So this is a semantic form, or this is a form of semantic mapping as being shown in the image in this presentation. So this strategy encourages learners to improve their vocabulary and categorization skills and to learn to organize concepts. And the other one is the possible sentences. So a while ago, I have shared to you that it is very much important to unlock difficult words, especially in reading passages. So this strategy could also be applied, the possible sentences. This is a pre-reading vocabulary strategy that activates learners' prior knowledge about content area, vocabulary and concepts. So before reading, let us provide a short list of vocabulary for our learners. And then afterwards, learners are asked to create based on the prediction of what the reading will be all about, and they will make meaningful sentences for each vocabulary word or concept. Then after reading the given passage or selection, students will be given opportunity to check to see if their possible sentences were accurate or this needs revising. So now, learners need a strong command of different vocabulary words so that they can express themselves using the right words. So the more words that they have in the word bank, the richer their communications with others will be. So that is why it is very important that we help our learners in developing their vocabulary skills. And it is a big challenge for us to invest our learners' vocabulary, and that is we should start today. So before I will end this presentation, I want you to make use of our chat box. Share your significant learning on about the things that we have gained today. So what is the most significant learning you have gained today? So I will give you a minute or 60 seconds to give your responses. So before I will end this presentation, I would like to give this very remarkable quote from Marva Collins, which says, "The good teacher makes the poor student good and the good student superior. When our students fail, we as teachers too have failed." So congratulations and thank you for listening.